As humans, I'm sure we all, to some extent, are looking for the meaning of why we're here, the purpose of our existence. What is the underlying reason for why we are at all? Because seemingly we are quite different from other animal species on this planet, in this kingdom. And so we wonder, why are we so different? What is the whole thing going on with us as humans? And delving into spirituality, religion, all these different fields, you may find meaning there, but that meaning is somehow adopted. It is somehow part of this entire framework of understanding that you are buying into. And so how often do we actually question what is real? What is really ours? What belongs to this one here? What belief systems are inherently based on your own experiences, as opposed to the sayings, the teachings, the wisdoms, the understandings of other people? Are you simply standing on the shoulders of philosophers, of scientists, of religious teachers, of spiritual teachers? Or are you coming to your own conclusions about life, about you, about what this is, about what you are? Because we may delve into other people's perspectives and their experiences because ultimately we all share a similar type of experience, right? And so with that, sure, we can gather insight and wisdom and understanding, information from other people, and it may be accurate. It may be. But no level of understanding adopted from someone else is going to be usable to you unless you convert that information into lived experience in your own life. And how do you do that? Well, you sit with it. You explore in your experience. In the midst of it, you explore, you test it out. You see, what does adopting this perspective entail for my reality perception? Because in fact, our perceptions are defined by our belief systems. And so when we uproot those belief systems and explore other perspectives, if you will, that shifts your entire reality view. It shifts the lenses that you're wearing. But why swap another lens when you can take off the glasses entirely? To meet this moment as it is, without asserting that there need to be a particular meaning that your mind can attribute to this moment, but simply meeting it as it is. Because that is where you discover, that is where you find. It is not where you come to look and look and look, it is where you come to discover what is real in your experience, Because that is really the ultimate test of reality. It is our own experience, our direct experience of this moment. And so I think it really begs the question, what belongs to you? Because when I look through my life, have adopted so many viewpoints and perspectives and belief systems and have been proven wrong countless times. And oftentimes those belief systems may carry truth, and it does bring value. But sooner or later, you have to discard that entire viewpoint entirely, or you have to upgrade it, which is also a very beneficial or efficacious thing to do. Because beliefs in and of themselves are not bad. They're simply models of reality that we attribute to our mind in order to construct a foundational understanding of how we think the world to be. But that thinking foundation must be built upon our experience. And you cannot necessarily put that into words. You can only experience it. And experience doesn't require belief. But you may, through that experiential gathering of acquiring wisdom in yourself, be able to upgrade your belief systems accordingly. And I think it is well worth doing that inner research to find out if there are any models that you carry that can be upgraded. And it's not always pleasant. Discovering what is more true than your currently perceived truthness is not always comfortable. It is a radical truth oftentimes, and it is not always what we expect, because it runs contrary to the programming that we have adopted many times. And so to be able to be okay with not being okay for the time being, looking at the discomfort and looking at all the parts of yourself where you have just dug yourself down and hidden away these compartments of your belief systems. Because we often don't want to look at our own beliefs. We want to look at other people's belief systems and attack theirs. But the moment you polarize yourself to others, in that moment, you too should be able to see that you carry beliefs of your own, and that you have no right to assert that yours are more correct than others. You have no right to delve into other people's at all. It is their doing. You cannot change somebody else. You've got plenty of things you need to change and sort out in yourself, I'm sure. So there are so many perspectives that change over the course of a lifetime. And I think it's wonderful for me to find myself in this time period of my life where more skepticism is being apparent. It is made more apparent to me that I am growing more skeptical of many things in the past few recent years, because I've been very open, expansive, open to all possibilities. And with that, you let in a whole bunch of beliefs that need not be there, or that are jumping to conclusions. And you then begin to build these sort of mental containers. And it might be containers within containers. And I've sort of made this entire archive of this whole belief system, this worldview fits into this box or this narrative, and it's part of this bigger narrative, and right? So you start building these systems. And it can be very rigid. And it's quite unnecessary a lot of the time, because simply returning to this moment, there aren't so many questions, really. There isn't that same need to figure out. And with that comes a clarity to not need to question everything. But at the same time, there is a natural tendency to not want to adopt anything immediately. Because if it doesn't resonate with this particular moment, why meddle with it? Why bother wasting mental energy on something? And so it is not, I wouldn't say it's secluded in this way, but it's this container of pure experientiality. And there's just an openness to that. But it is not an openness that is looking for an ending, like something to fill the gaps. It is simply an openness to discover, to be. And I think that's a wonderful place to be. So I think that concludes this particular video. If you'd be so keen on checking out the description, you'll find my Discord link down there. Small modest community of hopefully like-minded people who are gathering to chat, have good conversations. You may join it. Feel free to. And with that, I wish you a wonderful day.